Okay, so I'm going to show you a pretty simple power mod for this motorcycle. Nothing fancy, but gives a pretty decent improvement in power. So let's check it out. First thing you're going to need is a 10mm socket. We're going to take the seat off. So check it out. Just like that. Okay, so to do this, we're going to remove the bolt that holds the tank on. We're not going to take the tank off. We're just going to remove the bolt. But anytime we do that, I suggest removing these side covers. It just makes it a bit easier. Now, it has a little lock here. You could do this with a screwdriver if you want to. It doesn't need the key, but alright, so this is the airbox right here. We're going to take it off real quick. There are just 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in here, and we'll just take those off real quick. Okay, so we're going to take off this clamp here that goes to the intake of the carburetor. Okay, so I've already done this mod, so I can't show you how to do it, but I'll show you what I've done and explain how I did it. So, first I removed this snorkel, which was right in here. Right in this little hole here. I don't know how well you can see that in the video, but to remove it, it's stuck in the hole. Imagine my hand is the airbox. It's stuck in the hole. And you just have to kind of squeeze it in and just kind of wiggle it out there. It's really not too complicated. And the other thing I did here was cut a 5cm hole out of the other side of the airbox, and I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so we're going to take off the air filter to show you what I've done on the inside here. To do that, I'm just going to remove this clamp, this little hose here. There, that's pretty simple. This just kind of pulls out, and I've already loosened this. So you just kind of pull it out like that, okay? Now I will talk about this in just a second, but let's come in here and look at the hole. So here's what I've done. Inside the airbox here, I've cut this 5mm hole, 5cm hole, excuse me, and I have removed the snorkel from right there. Alright, so if you can see, the snorkel went in there just like that. And so, what that does is it gives it much better airflow. It allows the engine to breathe, and that gives it a bit more power. Okay, so you might have seen this. I put this over it because with the hole in the airbox and the snorkel gone, it is a little bit more exposed to dust that might come in and clog up the filter. So this kind of helps protect that. You can see how I've got it on there. And then I have 2 more here. One covering this hole here on the inside. Just kind of got it stuck in with duct tape. Then one covering this from the outside, right here, and that seems to work pretty well. So when I'm done with one of these, I just cut it in half and use it to make these 2 covers here. Okay, so to cut the hole and remove the snorkel, I guess you don't really have to, but it would probably make it a lot easier if you actually remove the airbox. So you take off the filter here, like I've done, and right in here you can see it has a little I don't know what to call it, a little rod kind of stuck up in here that kind of holds it in place. It is not held on with this bolt, that's just the tank. So on the other side here, the same bolts, well, the same bolts that hold on the battery here actually hold on the air box as well. So you're going to have to remove this bolt. You're going to have to remove, I don't know how well you can see, that bolt in there and this bolt as well. I believe, yes, both of them. And you're also going to have to remove these two bolts here that hold on the lid for the toolbox. So that will allow you to kind of slide this whole assembly apart. And so what happens is right here, the toolbox is kind of connected to the airbox. When you remove these bolts, it allows you to slide the airbox that way, so in that direction, and then the toolbox will come this way, right? Gonna come this direction toward me. And they kind of slide apart, and the toolbox there's a little bracket right down here that holds on the toolbox with a little kind of rod and socket deal. So that's how you're going to take the airbox off. You will have to remove the wires here that connect to the battery and take the battery off. There is the fuse right here, so be aware of that. The airbox kind of holds that fuse in place, along with this metal bracket right here holds this little plastic piece in place with the airbox together. So you're going to have to take that apart to put the hole in it and remove the snorkel. You might not have to, but it's probably going to make it a whole lot easier. Okay, so to talk about the position of the hole real quick, I chose this spot for the hole because it seemed to be the most structurally sound. It seemed that it would give it the best strength. I'm not sure if that's really important. You could potentially put the hole here right next to, maybe right under this hole for the snorkel, right? And that would bring all of the air in on one side. The disadvantage of having the hole here is that it is really, really close to the air filter. It's kind of stuck up right against it when you put it on. So it tends to get the air filter dirty in that one spot rather than bringing the air in and spreading it around, if that makes sense. So you might choose a different place for the air hole. If I did it again, I might try it here. But either one honestly works just fine. With these covers, it really doesn't get too dirty. So, okay, so I wanted to show you this. This is what I put over the filter and in front of the holes to kind of help keep the air filter clean, like an extra layer of filter. So, in Mexico they call this majitel. I don't know what it's called in other places, but you can find it. It's kind of like that super thick, really durable paper towel kind of stuff. Not like paper towel, but I don't know. You use it for cleaning. I've cut this into a strip of 50 centimeters long by 11 centimeters wide. So that seemed to work pretty well, wrapping around the filter, and then when I cut it in half to cover the holes, help keep the filter clean. For a very small amount of money, I got a ton of this stuff and just cut it up into all these strips, so it's ready whenever I go to clean the air filter, or just replace this if the air filter's not too dirty. So that's about it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.